All right. So here we go. So for our next part in completing the offer or closing it out in Beeline, this page is gonna come up next after we did what we just did and clicked OK. So it'll say background checks completed. In the comments there, I typed that in, onboarding docs attached. There'll be three things we have to upload here. This one, the onboarding documents. We're going to also have to add the anti-corruption verification documentation and then the sanction screening documents, and then put the date in. So the sanction screening documents is the hire right form, the completed hire right screen, and the attestation form. The anti-corruption form is that pre-hire questionnaire that they fill out. And then the onboarding documents are this. So I'm going to click them and I'll open it up. So it's going to be the Exhibit A's, or the Exhibit 2.4 is what they're called now, which is like 4 pages with the signature. And also accompanied with that, the BNY Mellon Contingent Worker Furlough Plan document, and that's signed as well. So it's just those two that need to be combined and entered. In the first place, you're going to enter here the onboarding documents. So next, it's going to ask you to, are any criminal or administrative charges pending against this candidate, blah, blah, blah. Just click no. And then we're going to go down here and we're going to upload the anti-verification document. So like I said, this is the pre-hire form, or the pre-hire questionnaire. Type it in here. See, I will save it when I save this stuff. As you can see, we'll have a bunch of stuff. I'll have BNY docs, the pre-hire, hire right form, a bunch of stuff. But this is the pre-hire. That's how I save it, so I know where it is and when it needs to be uploaded, when we're good to go. So I'm going to click upload for that. I'm going to save it, and then it should be attached. So there it is. So it's in there, anti-corruption. And then we have to do the sanction screening document. So I haven't made this yet. It's another combined document where we have to combine the hire right finish screen as well as the attestation. So what we're going to have to do here is to combine them. I go to DocuSign. So I'm going to click on DocuSign. I'm going to send myself an envelope. And I don't know who has the, if any of you guys have access to this, but either way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a template. So this is where you're going to find, go to all templates, and then I'll scroll down. I think it's at the bottom here. You're going to get this right here, this attestation, Bank of New York. So click on that. I'm going to select that. And then there it is. So it's going to add this form. And I'll show you that in a minute. Then we have to upload the finished screen, the hire right screen. So once that's downloaded, or once it's finished, you have to download it from hire right, and you have to redact the social security number or black it out. So here it'll say Gautam Teledevelopali, hire right redacted. So that's how I save it, so I know what it is. I'm going to add that. So that's both forms you need. So make sure it's going to me, set the signing order there. Then you're going to go over to next, because now it's going to take us to the actual, here's the attestation page. So I'm going to click on this because we have to put his name in there, which is like a huge name. So now make sure you're spelling it right. Gautam, right? Gautam. Teledev, right? Teledev. Ulapali. All right. So then it'll show up there. So this is we have to sign this. All right. So I sign this attestation form. So basically I'm sending it to myself to sign and making sure this higher right, this is a completed higher right screen with the social security number redacted. That's all you have to redact there. But we're also going to need the date when this was completed. So it'll say completion date July 8th. But I would check just to make sure. Yeah, so here, the social security number verification, that one always takes longer than the other one that they do. They do 2 here. So that's 7/8/22. I'll just note that down so I know. And then it's got a third page too, which will be the global sanctions enforcement. This screen is usually done right away. So anyway, so now I'm going to send it to myself. Just make sure that Gotham Teledevelop Holly matches how I spelled it there. I think we're good. We go to send. And I'm going to send it to myself. So it's going to come to me, but it's going to give me the option here to go in and sign it while I'm in DocuSign. So it'll pop up here and say, hey, you have something to sign. So I'm going to click on sign. And then it should bring this form up. And here we go. So continue. And here we go. Gotham Teledivali. It's going to give me the option to sign it right here. Bingo, I signed it. Make sure it's all good. And then I'm going to hit finish. So it's going to save it. And then it's going to email it to me. So what I'll do here, it says I got something else to sign, but I don't know. I think that's something else. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to close this out. And I'm going to come back in a minute. But I'm going to go to my email. And it's I'm going to have this DocuSign completed. So I'm going to click that. So it's going to give me the option now to go back in and view the completed documents, which I'm going to do. And now I'm going to combine them. So I have this attestation. It's signed by me and the higher right completed form. So now I'm going to go to up here to download. It's going to give me the option to combine the PDFs. So it's going to open up basically in a PDF, and then I'm just going to save it as, and I always save it as the last name, and this doesn't really matter, I guess, as long as you know what it is. Teledev Ula Poly. Gotham, right? Gotham. I always save this as BNY Docs 2. So we have just I save the first one as BNY Docs, and then I save this one as BNY Docs 2, so I know how they're differentiated. But I'm going to save it, and then we should be good to go for that last page. So we can close this out here. We're good there. And then we're going to go back to Beeline and finish it out. So I'm going to go back to Beeline, right? Click on Beeline. It's going to take us back to this page that we were at. Anti-corruption, we did that. We put the handy-dandy pre-questionnaire or the pre-hire questionnaire. And now we're going to do this. So the sanction screening document, select, go to the file. We're going to grab it out of wherever you saved it. It's going to be BNY Docs 2, so that'll be the screening. And then we're going to upload it. And then you can check just to make sure you got the right thing. You can click on it. Should take us to that. Sign, attestation form, redacted higher right form. We're good to go. So we'll close that out. Save it. And then we got to put in the date. So that's why I noted it down. So it was July 8th is when it completed. And then we're done. Then we go here, bingo. Background check completed. So that should think for a minute there and then close him out. And then it shouldn't show up any longer in good old on the home page. So now we're down to 4, as you can see, because we had 5 before we went in to close it out. So we'll click on that. Now Gautam's done. Now what I do is I usually reach out to Michael and I'll email him and say, hey, I just actioned Gautam's background check in Beeline. He's all done and he's ready for start details. And that's it. And then I'll give you guys kind of a crash course. I think you know how to set up the fingerprinting. That's pretty easy. But this takes a little bit more time just because you have to redact that form and combine them. But anyway, hopefully this helps.